Welcome to week 2. I hope everybody is healthy and safe. I want to thank you for your patience and, and a special thank you for everybody who's reached out. I understand that the uncertainty of what school is going to look like is placing additional stress in these very stressful times. Hopefully today's message will help reduce some of this stress. I've come up with a plan to deliver lessons. It is not ideal, but we are far from ideal conditions. My goal is to put you in the best possible position for grade 11. What I'm going to talk about today is how I will be providing you with learning opportunities. The key word here is opportunities, right? Do not feel obligated to do every task. Do what you can. I wish we were back in the classroom. Day-to-day life has become complicated. The added responsibilities, the uneasiness of the pandemic weighs on us, and it's difficult to find the motivation to do schoolwork. On that note, and for mindfulness, I am going to ask for one task that all students do every week, which is a weekly check-in, right? Where you're going to let me know how your weeks of learning went, right? I've created a survey which you can find on the homepage, right? Treat this survey like the self-assessments that I've given to you on unit tests. The goal is to ask some simple questions that act as a starting off point for future conversations, right? I believe all the teachers at the school are going to do some sort of weekly check-in. I figured, and this can take on various forms, I figured a quick 5-question survey would be a simple and effective way for students to show me how their learning was progressing, right? To access the survey, all you do is click on the survey link, and it's going to ask you for some login information. Your login information is your student number at mpsd.ca, followed by your password. It's the same password which you use to log in to school computers. Right, I'm going to click on this link and just show you what the survey looks like. Right. Now, it didn't ask you, for credentials because I've already logged into the system. Right. So the first question is, how much time did you spend on the course this week? And it's fine if you choose none or 0. Right. The second question is, what type of activities did you do in the course this week? The third question is, what concepts did you work on? And the fourth question is, how would you rank your understanding of these concepts? And the final question is it's your chance to ask or say anything you want to me, right? Tell me what worked well, what didn't work well. Do you have any suggestions to help improve this distance learning that we're going through here, right? So questions 1 through 4 are going to be required in the survey, and the 5th one is optional. But I would like to hear your feedback, right? In addition to the lessons, I will also be holding weekly tutorials, okay? These tutorials are not mandatory, they're optional, right? And the intent behind them was, hey, you work on these lessons, you're struggling or you have a few questions, you can show up to the open tutorial and ask these questions. Right? My goal was to have the tutorial up and running for this week. Unfortunately, there's some privacy concerns with web conferencing, so I'm not quite comfortable to launch the open tutorial this week. There's some settings I want to work out and figure out all the bugs. Having said that, if you're working through lessons or you just want to talk, we can meet up in the web conference screen and do a one-on-one. I'm just not ready to do an open tutorial for everybody, right? So if everything goes according to plan, the way I sort of have things set up so far, what you're going to do to access the web conference is click on this link, and I'll be using Microsoft Teams, and it's got Zoom built in here, right? And it's going to ask you for your name, and I'm asking for you to write down just your first name and your last initial, or you can write down your credentials to log into the MS Teams. All right, then it's going to ask you for a password for the tutorial session, and that's in the email, right? So the password helps protect us, and so nobody else can access this room. So once you log in, it may look like nothing's happening. When students log in, they get automatically, the way I've set up the conference room is students get put into a waiting room, right? Then me as a teacher see who's in the waiting room, then I allow them to join the tutorial, right? So this is where it's important to have your name. If I don't recognize your name, I will not be adding unknown names into the tutorial room, okay? So now what you're probably wondering the most is, how is my class going to look like? So I've outlined the starting points here under the game plan. I'm not going to talk through this. I'll walk you through how the lessons look like. Right? So I'm assuming most of you guys are going to be doing this off phones, so your screens can look slightly different. The first unit we're going to do is we're going to start the second unit of physics. Right? So you scroll up to the top, and here it says physics part 2. And now if you're on your phone, screen isn't quite as wide, so you'll have a condensed menu like this, and in the top right hand corner there's a menu system. You just click on that, then you can click on all the units that are available to you. So we're going to start on the second unit of physics. So you click on that, and then it takes you to our lessons for this unit. All right, now right at the top here, I've set a goal to keep in mind to help with pacing. Okay, so I'm hoping that you have enough time in your schedule that you can spend an hour to 2 hours a week, somewhere along there, in class to do science. That's the thought process I'm going with, and with that, I'm hoping that you'd be able to complete the second unit of physics by the 24th. All right, so the unit has a goal up the top. All the future units I put up, I'll try to keep the same format. All right, then when you scroll down, the first thing that you can come across is a section for the handouts. Right, so you got access to my Google Drive here, and you got copies of the note sheets, you got copies of the formula sheet. Every single handout that I'm going to give to you is available here. You just click on it, it's a PDF, you can download it, you can print it, you can put it into whatever software you want to use to annotate it. All right, then scrolling down the lessons, what I've done is I've created screencasts of the lessons, just as if we were in the classroom. I try to mimic it as much as possible, but honestly, without the two-way conversations, it's not as great as if we were in person, right? But I tried to do as best as I could, right? So what I've done is I've broken down each page of the notes into a separate video. So you'll see the first page is usually the title page. So the second page here is change in velocity. Here are the notes for the change in velocity. You hit play, you watch, you can copy the notes out, and throughout the video it'll come up with a screen that says please stop the video here, and at that point I'd like you to pause the video and try the example I'm talking about. So I'll be talking about a concept, and I'll ask you to pause it and see if you can do the concept, right? So that's how the notes are going to look like. You go through there, you have the notes, and then underneath you have your assignments. So just as they're part of your notes booklet there, that's where you'll find them. Say, okay, please try complete assignments 1 and 2. It says what pages they're on. Right, so this is just like when we're in the classroom. I'm not expecting you to show me this. This is for your learning, right? So the questions from the assignments are to tackle these concepts from lots of different angles, right? So if you don't have the time to do all the questions, that is quite fine. And just like in the classroom, I'm going to provide you with the answers for these, right? So those I'll put it in the handouts folder up above on the home page, right? Underneath where it says assignments, I'll have a assessment check-in, right? And this will be a small mini assignment, think of it as that way, where I'm going to focus on just what are the main concepts that I want you to know from this set of lessons, this set of assignments, and ask you a few questions on those. So it'll be much smaller, right? And it's going to be a survey/quiz format as the same thing as the weekly check-in. So when you click on the link, it's going to ask you for your login information, which is your student number at mpsc.ca, and your password, which is your school computer password, right? So you go in there, it'll be multiple choice, written response, those kind of questions, right? Now, you can scroll down here. I don't have the entire unit completed yet. So I've tried to put as much as information down I can so you can kind of see where this unit is going and how much more of it's left, right? So by next weekend, I'm hoping to have the next 4 or 5 videos up, right? And you can see there's going to be another set assignment and another assessment check-in at that point. I'm also hoping to give you a lab, so something fun and creative that you can do at home, right? This will be optional. I'm still in the process of designing it and working out the kinks, so I'll be posting that as well. And finally, there may be a unit assessment, and once again, this is going to be optional, right? A lot of the emails I've got are concerns over marks, right? So you did not sign up for distance learning, right? So everything that is going to happen from this point on, as long as we're in the distance learning mode, are learning opportunities in my mind, right? So everything you do will not hurt your current mark, can only improve it. So you don't do well on one of these assessments, not a big deal. It's just not going to hurt your mark. You do great on it, it gives me a better understanding of what your overall understanding of these science concepts are. It can help improve, right? So so don't worry about the unit assessment. It's going to fall under the same philosophy as I just mentioned, right? Is to get an understanding of your overall understanding of these science concepts, and it will not hurt your current standings, right? So that is it for now. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Stay safe and good luck on your first week.